back. Deshaun really pulled off that one.
I wish you could have been in there, storming the field.
Yeah, but I was about to spend money on tickets, like, with this new system. I'm already super broke as it is.
I know, after all these years of making tickets free, it's kind of dumb that they make us pay for it now.
This is a hypothetical situation in which the athletic department at Clemson has decided to make students pay for their tickets to football games. The student government president is meeting with the athletic director, Hunter Richardson, in order to sell the idea of free tickets for students. Ben Pfeiffer will use the spin-selling method of sales in order to try to convince him. First, he will start with situation questions, which are important but should also be kept short in order to establish background information. He will then use investigative questions in order to find the underlying difficulties or dissatisfactions that may exist with the new system. Getting Hunter to acknowledge that making students pay for tickets could be problematic is the first step. Problem questions are highly effective at getting someone to identify an issue that could have been overlooked. He will then try to demonstrate capability using implication questions, which will make him eager to solve the problems that he admitted in the previous step. Good implication questions will help the customer realize the consequences of a certain problem going unchecked. He will then use the need payoff questions in order to get him to realize that the free student ticket system is the best solution to the problems he has identified. The first part of the selling process is the preliminaries. This gives Ben a chance to establish the relationship and build rapport with Mr. Richardson. However, it needs to be kept short so the parties can get down to business. The three important steps in the preliminary stages is covering who the seller is, why the seller is there, and opening up the floor for questions.
Oh, hey. Morning, Ben. It's great to finally meet up face to face.
Good morning, Mr. Richardson. How are you doing today?
Oh, man, I'm a little bit worn out. Just got back from that college football committee meeting. It sure is hard to rank all those teams, especially with that Louisville game last night. I mean, man. Yeah, why don't you have a seat?
All right, thank you.
Look, Ben, I'm really excited that you're here. I love meeting up with passionate Clemson fans, especially the students.
Well, thanks, Mr. Richardson. It's great to be here. But let's get down to business. I'm here to represent the students of Clemson, and right now the greatest concern is the football ticketing system.
All right, well, let's get to it then. Just feel free to ask me anything about the system right now, and we'll see what kind of possible solutions we can come up with for the students.
Can you explain the way the new ticketing system works?
So, with the new system, the student pays a $250 fee at the beginning of the year, and that'll cover the whole home game season. If you pay $300, you get lower deck guaranteed. The $250 just gets you a first come, first serve opportunity to seat.
Ben is using situation questions in order to help him understand the new ticketing system. Ben is trying to keep the situation questions short, but also get a good idea of what the new system entails. The situation questions allow Ben to understand more fully what the system is like, so he can see how his system will benefit the athletic director. He did his research, though, so he did not need to ask too many questions and bore Mr. Richardson, but he did want to establish a context for the sale. In this stage, the seller asks many questions to try to understand the issues and problems that the buyer has had with his current product. This is a very important stage because it allows the seller to discover implicit needs that the buyer has but is unaware of.
Mr. Richardson, how has the overall response been to this new system by the students?
Well, our turnout's been lower than previous seasons, about a 25% drop in students attending the games from the years past.
Wow, 25%. That's a big decrease. Tell me, has there been any technical glitches with the system?
Yeah, so the system's been crashing during the first come, first serve portion of the ticket distribution online. There's also been some glitches in getting the ticketing transferred over from the system to the Tiger 1 cards.
So tell me, what is the biggest problem you're facing with this new system?
I think above all, the biggest problem is just the lack in support from the student fans that we've had prior years.
Yeah, that makes sense. A 25% decrease in student attendance is pretty bad, especially at a school known for its spirit and its participation in the crowd. Would you say that extra funding is worth it? Can there be other sources of money you could get?
Well, that's something that the athletic department as a whole has been debating about. And one positive is just that in the successful years that we've had recently with things like ACC championship games and playoffs, more revenue comes in from TV contracts and et cetera, as well as apparel royalties.
Using these problem questions, Ben is able to get Hunter to realize problems the new system has created. By getting him to talk about these problems, he may be realizing that they are more important than he originally thought. These problem questions help reveal implied needs that might exist with the new system. One important thing to remember in this stage is to not jump straight into giving the buyer benefits and solutions to his problems. This would cause the buyer to make objections to the seller's product without knowing the full potential of the product. Next up is the implication questions. Ben will use these questions in order to make Mr. Richardson realize that his problems are bigger than he thought.
So, Mr. Richardson, what is the lower attendance of students due to the football program itself?
Well, it's affected recruiting. I think it's become an easier place to play an away game in Death Valley. And I think we're getting less attention and respect from the media.
Well, why do you think this is happening?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but student participation and involvement is probably the biggest. That's something that they take pride in here at Clemson, and we're hoping that they'll warm up to the new ticketing system as we roll along through the process.
Well, as you know, one of the best players in Clemson history is about to leave for the NFL draft. Don't you think that would make participation even lower once he leaves?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So, Mr. Richardson, earlier you mentioned that the system is crashing when students want to get their first come, first served tickets. How has this crashing affected the cost of maintaining student numbers at the games?
Well, that's a problem at the top of our list. When a student can't get into the system and they can't get a ticket, and then they're busy with classes and everything else they have going on as a student. So then once the system's back up, however long that takes, then they're not even able to get a ticket at all.
Well, like I said before, some of our key players are leaving, and a big draw to Clemson is a football program. And honestly, this new system may not be affecting the football program positively, but also might be affecting school applications as well.
Using these implication questions, Ben is able to get Hunter to realize that these needs are very necessary. He's trying to make Hunter eager for solutions. Through both implication and need payoff questions, Ben is able to develop the implied needs formed in the problem questions into explicit needs. These implication questions allow Ben to get to the root of Mr. Richardson's issues. In this stage, the seller tries to show how his product would solve many of the buyer's explicit needs and issues. It's also a chance for the seller to demonstrate the benefits that his product provides. Benefits help prove what is so valuable about the seller's product.
Do you think a system that encouraged student participation in games would help solve the media, excitement, and attendance issues?
Well, yeah, students really are the heart of the home crowd here in Death Valley, and I think if we can find a way to get more students in again, then Memorial Stadium is going to go back to being what it was, as one of the toughest places to play in college football, as well as one of the most exciting for any fan to go see a game at.
The student body government at Clemson has created a new system to make tickets free for students, thus boosting attendance and support during game days. When tickets are free, Saturdays meant a lot more to students because they could actually go to the game, participate in the crowd. Yes, our football team might be as good as they were back then, but if we don't have a good football team with any fans, what's the point?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. The fans are vital to the program, if not the most important aspect of our program and the athletic department and Clemson as a university itself. But there's no doubt that without the full student section, Death Valley's kind of lost what it had with its earlier perception as just being Death Valley, one of the toughest places to play. And if we can get that 25% back that we lost, I think that would really be a positive.
Well, it sounds to me, Mr. Richardson, that the root of your problem is that students just don't want to pay an extra fee on top of tuition, books, housing, and other stuff. Do you think that is true? That's the root of the problem?
Well, I can see that being an issue. I know certainly money was tighter for me when I was back in school, and school costs so much more now than it used to. But can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, numbers show that tuition's been increasing by 2% each year, and it's now like $22,000. And the cost of books has been rising as well. And personally, I know some friends that don't go to the game just because they can't afford the $250.
Well, I hate to hear that, but I'm glad I can hear it from a leadership role that represents the students like yourself, Ben. And we're getting a little bit worried about the future of Clemson football right now. And I agree that there might be a relationship between the paying system for the ticketing and the attendance.
Ben uses need payoff questions to show Hunter that he has the solution to all of his problems. He gets Hunter to admit that the root of all of his difficulties is making students pay for tickets, and also showed the benefits of returning to a free ticket system. Hunter stated his explicit need of more participation, allowing Ben to offer a clear solution. The final stage of the selling process is obtaining commitment. Here's where the seller tries to get the buyer to actively pursue his product. This can be done in many ways. Examples include actually buying the product, setting up another meeting time to learn more, or offering to attend an exposition event of the product.
Well, Mr. Richardson, as you can see, our system can help solve many of your problems. What can we do to help you know the system better and get this moving forward?
I'll tell you what, Ben, you definitely got me intrigued. I think you made some really good points about what we can do to make the athletic department and Clemson football specifically more successful again. So I'll tell you what, give me 5 of your most trusted senators from student government. I'll give you a couple people from the athletic department, and we're going to build a task force. We're going to start getting the ball rolling on this, and get students back to the football games.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Richardson.
Absolutely, thank you, Ben.
Thanks to Ben's work, the new ticketing system was implemented for the 2017 season. Student attendance set record highs and helped cheer on the Tigers to a national championship.
Neil Rackham quotes, "People do not buy from salespeople because they understand their products, but because they felt the salesperson understood their problems." With this in mind, Rackham crafted spin selling, a method of selling that, in opposition to approaches supporting traditional sales models, appeals to major sales, highlights a longer selling cycle, and, in essence, favors a greater and ongoing relationship between a buyer and the seller. A great distinction between spin selling and traditional sales models for the seller is the emphasis on asking a multitude of questions in order to best build the perceived value of the product that he or she is attempting to sell. SPIN is also an acronym for the 4 types of questions that may be asked by sellers: situation questions, problem questions, implication questions, and needs payoff questions, these of which all help the seller discover particular facts about the buyer and needs that could be addressed. In addition, there are 4 stages relating to the spin selling model: preliminaries, investigating, demonstrating capability, and obtaining commitment. In the following examples, we will explain further how to be successful in utilizing spin selling and its characteristics to satisfy a sale, as a study abroad representative attempts to build a partnership with Clemson University.
In the preliminary stage of spin selling, it is the mission of the seller to begin to build a relationship with the buyer through limited warming up events. That is, though this stage is important, a seller should be careful in spending her time discussing matters unrelated to the sale, as the buyer may lose focus or interest. By displaying likability, trustworthiness, and expertise through her introduction, a seller can greatly appeal to and relate to the buyer. It is also throughout this beginning stage that a seller should establish who she is, why she is there, and her right to ask questions to the buyer, as this is the goal of spin selling.
Hi, I'm Kayla from Education Abroad. It's nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you, Kayla.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with me here today. Oh my gosh, I see you have a Clemson ring. Where did you graduate?
2010.
Awesome, that was 2012. Who was your favorite professor?
Definitely Gary Hunter. I absolutely loved his professional selling class.
Yeah, I had him too. He was so great. So I wanted to explain more about the programs at the Education Abroad Network today.
Oh, sounds great. I'm excited to hear about the opportunities the program offers.
In the next stage of the sales call, appropriately referred to as the investigating stage, the seller investigates the situation further. Investigating is considered the most important of all selling skills because it's about finding out facts, information, and needs. This stage uses the spin question sequence: situation questions, problem questions, implication questions, and need payoff questions. For situations, find out background information on your client and what their situation is. Have a specific purpose to each question you ask and make sure you don't ask too many. This can bore or irritate the client.
So how many study abroad programs does Clemson currently offer?
Currently, we offer about 30 study abroad programs.
Okay, and what countries are students able to study in with your current offerings?
They can study in many countries in Europe as well as South America and Africa.
Use problem questions sparingly. These should be used to investigate the client's problems, difficulties, or dissatisfaction.
That you currently offer affordable to the general student body at Clemson?
Not all students can afford to study abroad at Clemson. We do have some scholarships, but they're really competitive.
Okay, and can students from any major study abroad?
Unfortunately, not all majors can find something that satisfies their interests.
With implication questions, determine the effects and consequences of the problem the client is facing. This is a very important stage in the spin selling process, so use it to your advantage by conveying to the client the value of your company's solution.
Do you think that students are less satisfied with the study abroad programs at Clemson because of the lack of options in the Asia Pacific?
We have heard some complaints about offering programs in countries like Australia, New Zealand, China, South Korea, and other countries in that region.
In the needs payoff stage, ask questions that will give you an idea of how valuable the client finds your solution to be. Overall, the key goal of this stage is to find a problem your client faces that they perceive as small and then reframe it as a problem large enough to justify using your provided solution.
How do you think the addition of study abroad programs that travel to the Asia Pacific would affect the amount of students that participate in programs here at Clemson?
I definitely think there would be an increase in the amount of students that study abroad, and they're taking advantage of that most definitely.
To demonstrate capability, tell your prospect what's fab about your product. Fab stands for Features, Advantages, and Benefits. To make the sale, the customer needs to know what the product has, what makes it better than the other product, and how the features will benefit them. The most important step to focus on is the benefits, because this explains to the customer why the product should be of value to them. This is why the investigation stage is crucial. In order to communicate the benefits effectively, you must ask the right questions.
Education Abroad offers study abroad programs in 7 countries in the Asia Pacific. This includes Australia and New Zealand, which have become extremely popular these days. And considering Clemson's lack of programs in these countries, I think students would love to have more options as far as what countries they can travel to. Furthermore, we offer programs throughout all semesters, which includes year-long options. We also have programs for students from any major, whether it be business, engineering, nursing, marine biology. Programs are affordable for all students, and we offer financial aid to those who may require it. It's clear from our long-time partnerships with countless universities, students are able to find the perfect program for their studies and lifestyle.
That all sounds really great. I definitely can see students taking advantage of this.
Every successful sales call ends with commitment from the customer. If it is a large sale, there are intermediate steps called advances, which are stepping stones to the customer's commitment towards the final decision. Before you officially obtain commitment from the client, you should check that you have covered key concerns the customer may have, while summarizing the benefits they would receive from the sale. Then you can propose an appropriate level of client commitment.
Like I said, we consistently receive positive feedback, and students of all backgrounds love our programs. Our programs are diverse, affordable, and not to mention fun.
Awesome. I'm very interested in incorporating this program into our Clemson Study Abroad office. I will have to bring the information back to our head of department, but I'd love to get back with you and talk about forming a partnership.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me and to speak with you today.
Of course. Have a great rest of your night. You too.
As you can see, Kayla effectively sold her study abroad program to the Clemson Study Abroad office with the use of spin selling. For your future sales endeavors, consider using this model for success in major sales call. Thank you for watching.
Customers will only be motivated to buy something if they identify there's a need. And because there are times when prospects are not even aware there's a problem, the questions you ask are key. Spin selling is a powerful sales process that reveals 4 types of questions that, when asked in sequence, will significantly increase the likelihood of a lead translating into a sale.
There are 4 stages to the spin selling process: preliminaries, investigating, demonstrating capabilities, and obtaining commitment.
The first stage is preliminary stage. In this stage, the primary objective of the seller is to build trust with the buyer. This includes introducing yourself and demonstrating yourself as a credible source.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. My name's Hannah and I'm with Snuggie. I've been in the leisure industry for over 30 years, and I have the expertise to get you exactly what you need to make customers crazy about Target. So let's get started.
Okay, I'm Amanda. I'm looking forward to doing business with you today.
Make sure not to spend too much time on the preliminaries. It's important to get started on questions in the next stage, the investigating stage.
Investigating is the most important of all selling skills. It includes 4 types of questions explained by the SPIN acronym: situation questions, problem questions, implication questions, and needs payoff questions.
The first type of question is situation questions. These collect facts, information, and background data about the customer's existing situation. If possible, most of these questions should be researched before meeting with the buyer, as to avoid making the buyer feel bored or impatient. Hannah has already done this and knows that Amanda is the primary purchaser for Southeastern Target stores, and that she has been with the company for 15 years. It is also important to make sure each question serves a specific purpose.
So Amanda, what products are you currently selling in your home and bedding department?
So currently we have pillows, quilted comforters, and throw blankets.
Okay, and what do you see as your objectives for growth in that department?
So we really see this as a growing market and think we should start looking
at expanding our product lines and appealing to a wide variety of consumers, but we're just unsure of what product we should bring in.
The next type of questions are problem questions. These investigate clients' problems, difficulties, and dissatisfactions. The information gathered with these questions will provide material that the seller uses to build the rest of the sale. So, are you able to reach all of your target markets with the products you currently offer in this department?
No, actually, we believe we're losing sales to our competitors, Walmart and Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, darn. Why do you think this is?
Our blanket department just doesn't seem as diverse as our competitors. I feel like we're just missing something that the consumer wants.
So what are the current issues with the blankets that you sell now?
Well, for starters, they're roughly the same shape and length, and we don't have a lot of variety in the colors of blankets that we sell.
Huh. Well, that makes sense. We prepared a video to demonstrate the problems customers face with regular blankets and how our product can solve them. So let's go take a look and watch that.
Okay, cool.
No, blankets are okay, but they can slip and slide. And when you need to reach for something, your hands are trapped inside. Now, there's the Snuggie, the blanket that has sleeves. The Snuggie keeps you totally warm and gives you the freedom to use your hands. So now, you can work the remote or read a book in total warmth and comfort. Use your laptop without being cold, or enjoy a snack while staying snugly warm. Snuggie is made of ultra-soft, thick, luxurious fleece with oversized sleeves, so you can move your arms and use your hands and still be wrapped in warmth. Super large, one size fits all, so you can stay warm from head to toe. No more cold feet. And with Snuggie, you can get up and still stay warm. Perfect for men, women, and children too. The ultra-soft fleece keeps you totally warm, and the sleeves keep your hands free.
After the problem question phase, the next type of questions are implication questions. The questions investigate the consequences, effects, implications of the problem that the buyer has. The seller should use these questions to build up the problem so the buyer perceives it as more serious and justifies action being taken. In turn, they are more likely to see increased value in what the seller is offering.
So you say that you've been losing customers to your competitors due to your lack of diversity in this department. What effect do you think this has on your sales and your total profit?
We've estimated that we've lost about $1 million in sales just due to this. Our profit margin is down from last year too.
Interesting. So would you say that customers are overall dissatisfied with the selection that you offer?
I guess major improvements could be made.
In other departments where you have more diversified products, do you have greater market share?
Oh yeah, we do.
So you would agree that expanding your selection with a new and innovative product, such as the Snuggie, in the home and bedding department will help increase your competitive advantage in win-back sales?
I suppose it's possible.
Once the seller starts getting the buyer thinking more about the implication questions, it's time to move to the needs payoff questions. These questions probe the value, usefulness, or utility that the client perceives in the proposed solution. These are positive and solution-centered questions that focus on the customer's solution rather than the problem.
So tell me, how important is it to you to solve the problem of losing sales to competitors?
It's extremely important. We're trying to be the #1 choice for customers in our blanket department.
So would you find the solution of including Snuggie in your product mix useful?
Snuggie is unlike any of our other blanket products. Its unique features would really draw in the customers we're losing.
This concludes the investigating stage. The next stage of the spin cycle is demonstrating capability. In this stage, the seller must convince the customer that she has something to offer. It's important to show that the benefits of the solution you're offering meets the explicit need the buyer has mentioned. So because you need a more diversified selection, the Snuggie has benefits that no other blanket offers. Sleeves, exquisite fleece, and fun patterns for everyone.
Wow, that sounds great.
Yeah, so since you need a larger profit margin in this department, we'll be willing to give you bulk pricing to stock our product in your stores, thus making it easier to reach the margin that you desire.
That would be ideal. I'm sure my superiors would love to hear that.
In addition, the Snuggie appeals to all demographics, allowing you to accomplish your goal of reaching more target markets.
I think that is something to seriously consider.
The final stage is obtaining commitment. In this stage, the seller needs to check that she has covered key concerns, summarized benefits, and proposed an appropriate level of client commitment.
So, do you have any more concerns that you would like to discuss?
No, I think you've covered everything. I really think that putting Snuggies in our stores could really help with sales. We would be happy to enter into a contract with you to make this dream a reality.
Wow, I'm so glad to hear your commitment. We look forward to doing business with you.
Awesome.
Hey, I'm Ray.
Hi, I'm actually really busy right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, totally. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of skee ball. And funnily enough, I'm actually two-time regional champion. It's true that it was only at the, under 7 and under 8 level, but, I still think it's pretty impressive. And most girls would agree that I'm pretty impressive. I have just so many skee ball trophies, so I would really, really love it if you came by and checked out my trophy case. It's 2 trophies, but it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm sorry. I need to go.
Overcome with failure, Ray took to the internet to try to find someone to help with his disastrous dating woes. His research led him to Anderson's video of likability and how he was able to get the girl, and Ray knew he needed to meet Anderson and hire him to be his dating coach. He knew it worked for all the guys Will Smith coached, so he was certain it would work for him too.
Yeah, it's been a good day.
Yeah,
It's been a real good day. It's always a good day just being me,
Are you that guy? From
Yeah.
that video?
Yes, I'm that guy.
Dude, I need your help so badly. I'm just horrible with women. Maybe the worst that's ever existed.
Well, I really usually don't take on clients like this, but you seem really desperate, so I guess I'll help you out here. I'll give you my number. Right here, where's my wallet? I'll give you my number and give me a call. We'll set a meeting up. All right, we'll see if we can fix this. All right.
I appreciate it.
No,
Thank you so
I know
much.
you do. All right. You have a good day now.
You're a good guy.
All right, Ray. Clearly, we have a lot of work to do and not much time. So, in the video that I'm pretty famous for, I use the Cialdini's influence of likability, and clearly you don't have that. So, we're gonna try to find something else for you. All right. And I think I have just the thing. It's called spin selling.
After countless hours of teaching Ray the first step, which is the preliminary stage of spin selling, Anderson thinks Ray is ready for a mock run and brings in Erin. Let's see how this goes.
We'll have this later. Okay. All right. So Erin is way out of your league. All right. She's gonna help us with this demonstration. She's way out of your league and she knows it. Okay. But don't be scared. She will work with you. All right. Are you ready? Can you do this? Be genuine. Don't be yourself. All right. Ready? Erin.
Hey, Aaron.
Hi.
Ray.
Nice to meet you. I'm Erin.
So Anderson tells me that you are on the club soccer team.
I am.
Very cool. What position do you play?
I play left back. What
Left
about
back?
you?
Okay. Well,
Because you're on the guys team, right?
I am. I usually play as a winger, so a little bit in common there. Played as a fullback for a long time, so it's a lot of running.
Yeah. Definitely is.
So how long have you been playing?
I've been playing soccer my entire life, but
Oh, really?
since freshman year I was
Oh, very cool. Did you ever plan to play in college anywhere?
No.
No.
What about you?
No, I played with Clemson for a little bit, but it was just things don't work out. So.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. It's natural. Not awkward like you're used to doing. All right. Thank you, Erin.
All right. See you later.
All right. We'll move on to the second stage now. All right.
After Ray nailed the first stage, Anderson taught him the second stage of spin, which is the investigation stage. In this stage, the 4 types of spin questions come into play. These questions are situation, problem, implication, and need payoff. Situation questions are used to get an idea of, the situation. Problem questions are used to see where there is a need that can be met. Implication questions focus more on the negative results of the problems previously mentioned. Finally, need payoff or value questions deal with what can be gained by making a certain decision. You should be careful not to ask too many questions, as this can be both boring and agitating. If done properly, these questions can help you make the sale, or, in this case, help Ray get the girl.
So, are you from around here, Gabby?
No, I actually just moved here.
Oh, okay. And so, do you usually find yourself without weekend plans?
Yeah, all the time. It's just really hard because I don't know that many people so far.
Okay. Well, there's this great film festival going on in Anderson, and I was wondering if you'd be.
Oh, awesome.
That would be something that might interest you.
Yeah, I love movies, so it's definitely up my alley.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I'm planning on going this weekend, so if you'd like to go with me, it should be a good time and, give you something to do this weekend.
Yeah, I'd love to go with you.
After Ray nailed the second stage, Anderson taught him the third and fourth stages of spin. The third stage is where you demonstrate capabilities. In this stage, you have to show the other party that you have something to offer, meaning Ray will have to show the girl that he's a real catch. In a sale, if you can't show the buyer that you have something that's worth their time or money, your sales call will end as quickly as Ray's previous dates. The fourth stage is where you obtain commitment. In this stage, you have to make sure you obtain the right commitment. If Ray gets a "don't call me, I'll call you" response, he did not get the right kind of commitment. The right kind of commitment includes definitive next steps, such as a follow-up call or meeting, or for Ray, a date with the pretty girl.
So, do you feel confident? Do you feel better than what you were when you came to meet Becky?
Oh, well, without a doubt, I think this spin selling process really works. It can help,
Alright, that's enough. Alright, are you ready to put this into action? Let's go get the girl that rejected you, alright?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Ray.
Hey, aren't you that weird skee-ball guy?
Yeah. That's a little embarrassing, but I'm sorry. I was just a little nervous, and I think we just kind of got off onto the wrong foot. But I like to get to know you a little bit. So, what's your name?
I'm Maddie.
Maddie. Okay, very cool. So you've been a student at Clemson. Are you a senior this year?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, very cool. You also a marketing major then?
Yeah, are you?
I am actually.
Oh, nice.
Who's your favorite professor?
Oh, definitely Dr. Hunter.
Yeah, he's the best. Anyway, so do you have any plans for this weekend?
Not really, but I'd be up to do something.
Sure. Do you find it kind of hard to get weekend plans sometimes when there's no Clemson football game on the weekend?
Definitely, it leaves a big hole, and I just have to fill it with something.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like to do something, I think that I could certainly help you, get some weekend plans because there's a nice tractor movie festival over in Pendleton.
I don't know. I've met some real jerk guys lately.
Well, I can certainly understand that, but I promise I'm not like that. I hold doors open. I help old ladies across the street. I'm great with kids. And, I always leave the toilet seat down.
Well, that sounds like a great combination.
Yeah, I do what I can. That's just little things. So, if you don't have anything going on this weekend, if you want to give me your number, I'll give you a call, or, your cake account, whatever it is kids use these days.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
If Ray can use spin selling to get the girl, then you can use spin selling to get anything.
Taylor Swift, award-winning country music artist, is considering switching genres to pop music, and she and her manager discussed the change with Interscope Records, head of AR. With the use of spin selling, Connor hopes to persuade Taylor and Summer into making the switch to Interscope Records from Big Machine Label Group. The objective of relationship selling is to accomplish long-term mutually beneficial outcomes of value to the buyer, Taylor Swift, and the seller, record label executive. The process will start with preliminaries, which are the warm-ups, including icebreakers, at the start of the call. The purpose is to build trust with the buyer by establishing your credibility by being likable, trustworthy, and displaying relevant expertise.
Good afternoon, Miss Swift. Miss LaBelle.
Hey.
Hey. How's the trip in?
Oh, it was fine. Just a quick flight from Nashville.
I hope Meredith and Olivia are doing okay without you.
Oh, yeah, they're fine. They're with my parents today, so they'll be alright.
Good. How are your kids?
Good, yeah, thanks for asking. We're actually getting ready to send Claire to college this fall.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know you guys have a lot to do. I don't want to keep you too long, so let's get down to business.
Okay, here, Connor, the record label executive, successfully breaks the ice by asking specific questions tailored to both myself and Summer. This makes him not only more likable, but leads them to trust him as he establishes credibility by showing them that he has done his research on who he's talking to. The next step in the process is investigating. This is where most of the question asking comes in and where we see what spin means. The purpose is to find out facts, information, and needs. The 4 types of questions asked are situational, problem, implication, and need payoff questions. Okay. The first type of question to be asked is situational questions. These questions probe facts and background to find out what the client is doing now. Most research should be done prior to the meeting. The seller should be careful not to ask too many questions as to bore the client. In this scenario, Connor will ask a series of 3 questions to find out more about my relationship with Big Machine and how loyal I am to the label and country music in general.
Okay, so first question. Did you know that the pop genre has the 2nd largest listener loyalty, only behind heavy metal? Okay. Second question. Did you know that pop artists tend to have some of the longest careers?
Makes sense.
Okay. Question number 3. Did you know that pop artists tend to win more awards such as Grammys and VMAs?
Also makes sense.
Type of questions Connor will ask are problem questions. Problem questions explore problems, difficulties, and dissatisfactions with the current product or brand. Connor must get Taylor and I to think of problems with Big Machine to induce a change in business relationship. Problem questions are the largest portion of a sales call because the buyer has to realize a change is needed here. Here, Connor needs to make Taylor and I see the problems with staying with a country music label when her career is headed in a pop direction.
Okay. Do you feel like you're getting enough financial support from Big Machine?
I mean, not really. I kind of feel like we're running low lately.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
budget-wise.
Interesting. Well, we have money, so
We have
money. Do you feel like you are given a large amount of creative control over your music?
At this point, no. I mean, I've been with the label for so long. I feel like they kind of just have a certain way of doing things now, and it's restricting me creatively.
Yeah. Well, we would never restrict you creatively at all. Just let you kind of do whatever you want. If you want to like kind of dive into like rap or something, we're very open to that scene.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bluegrass for sure.
Yeah.
So even like instrumentals, no singing at all. That'd be awesome.
Wow.
We're just like really open. The next type of question I will ask are implication questions. These questions get the buyer to see and think about the effects of the problems. This will increase the buyer's perception of value in your offer. Here, I want Taylor to see the value in switching to Interscope Records. I want to make her see that she will have a more successful career if she makes the change from a country to a pop label, because the label can make or break her career. Taylor, do you realize that creative restriction and financial support from the label can prevent you from being a successful artist and make or break your career? And also, I don't know if you realize this, but country music's fan base has been dwindling, especially for female artists, and that pops is growing. But a lot of country artists are becoming irrelevant in the genre faster than ever before.
Yeah, agreed.
The next type of question Connor will ask is the need payoff question. These questions build up the value and usefulness that the buyer perceives in a solution. These types of questions can prevent unfavorable perception from the buyer and display the usefulness and need to solve the problem. They get the customer to focus on the solution, and they get the customer to tell the seller the benefits of whatever is being sold. Here, Connor wants to get Taylor and her manager to tell him the benefits of switching labels.
Taylor, as well as Interscope being a bigger label, do you realize how much more recognition you get globally, especially with your fans?
I want that.
What's that? Okay, good. That's a good sign.
The next stage of spin selling is demonstrating capability. In this stage, the seller must demonstrate that he or she has something worthwhile to offer. The seller must make benefits that show how they meet explicit needs that have been expressed. These benefits show how your solution can help the client, that it meets an explicit need.
The final stage of spin selling is obtaining commitment. Here, the seller gains agreement to proceed further in the process. The seller must check that he has covered key concerns and must summarize the benefits for the solution. Each successful sales call must achieve the objective before the sales call. The immediate objective will not always be signing of an agreement, although it can be.
Okay, Taylor, so if you switch from Big Machine to Interscope, right now we can offer you more money, more creative freedom to do what you want to do with your music. And also because of our size and availability around the world, you'll have a larger more international fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really good deal. I think I want to sign with y'all.
Awesome. All right then.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you.
I just love the camera.
What the quiet?
It's just another day at the Tiger Cosmetics firm here in Clemson, South Carolina. As you can see, things appear to be a little out of order. Clearly the surgeon, Dr. ONeill, performed the wrong surgery on a customer. He doesn't appear to be too happy. Let's see if we can find out what went wrong.
Just another day here, Tiger Cosmetics in Clemson, South Carolina, plastic surgery.
I'm so tired of this crap, doctor. This is the third time this has happened to me. I asked for cheek implants, not butt implants. There will be a lawsuit on your hands, guarantee that.
We can fix this. We can fix this. Brittany, come on. This is the third time this month that we've had this happen. This is like, we do this all the time. We can't be giving the wrong surgeries to the wrong customers. Come on now.
Clearly, Tiger Cosmetics is struggling somewhere. Let's see if Caitlin, the representative for Client Keeper Software, can help through employing Neil Rackham's spin selling method she has recently mastered in professional selling. This method requires the seller to walk the buyer through Rackham's 4 necessary stages required to close the deal. The first stage, the preliminary stage, is essential to welcoming in business conversation. The preliminary stage includes pleasantries and small talk that usher in a business discussion and maintain a cordial tone throughout the duration of the sale. Let's see how Caitlin uses the preliminary stage to her advantage.
Hi, honey, how you doing today?
Hey, doing great. How are you
Hey,
doing?
Tiger Cosmetics, how can I help you?
Oh, thanks. I'm here looking for Dr. ONeill. My name is Caitlin, and I'm with Client Keeper Computer Software. And I was wondering if you had a moment to speak today.
Absolutely, honey. Let me go grab him real quick.
Thank you.
Stuff is way too complicated. Oh my gosh.
Give me just 1 second, honey. Dr. ONeill, there's a cute little woman out here to see you to talk to you about a software update. Would you like to see her now?
Yeah, definitely send her in. Thank
Got
you.
it. 1 second, honey.
Dr. ONeill. Hi, my name is Caitlin Baker, and I'm with Client Keeper, a computer software program. I was wondering if I could have a moment of your time.
Yeah, definitely. You must have met my secretary then. Isn't she a babe?
Rackham's next stage, the investigative stage, progresses the pleasant conversation into a selling discussion. The investigative stage seeks to uncover hidden needs or issues the buyer may be experiencing. This stage requires the seller to ask 4 different sets of questions to convince the buyer and eventually finalize the sale. The first set of questions, situation questions, are used to gather background data and information that will shape the remaining questions to influence the seller's chance at making a solid sale. Let's see how Caitlin uses these questions to reveal more about the issues facing Tiger Cosmetics.
1. So, Dr. ONeill, tell me, what type of procedures do you usually perform?
Well, I like to kind of focus on anything that I get to enlarge. That's my first thing. But we work on some other lane procedures. I usually do some facelifts, cheek implants, tummy tucks, liposuctions, nose jobs, and others to make hopeless women feel better about themselves.
That sounds very exciting for you. How many clients do you think you see probably on average on a day or a yearly basis?
Depends on the amount of girls trying to get an esteem boost, but I normally operate 2 to 3 times a week. We usually do like 5 to 6 operations on those days, depending on how long they take. But that's normally how it goes each week.
Okay. So what software system are you currently using?
We're using Hospital Helper right now. It's not the best system. We've kind of had some problems. It's hard to keep track of client files. Like, we had some problems with giving the wrong surgeries to some wrong clients, and that really messed up. Got a few lawsuits on it because of it, and it was a real struggle. But we're hoping to figure it out somehow and go from there.
Caitlin successfully used a unique set of situation questions to gather further background data on Tiger Cosmetics to shape the remainder of her sale. Rackham's second set of questions, problem questions, seek to uncover the buyer's attitude towards the potential problems or issues facing the company. The situation question responses provide the backbone for Caitlin's problem questions. It is essential that the seller carefully selects their questions as not to upset or potentially aggravate the buyer. Let's see if Caitlin can do so.
So, is your current software system hard to manage or chaotic?
What's his name? What's his name? I got nothing out of name. Come on, baby, what's the name?
Well, sometimes we have a hard time keeping track of who's who coming in the door and whatnot. We don't really know their names. We don't know their problems, so it's kind of hard, and we've messed up in the past because of it.
So, would you agree hospital helper is hindering your business more than helping?
Well, women aren't not going to spend their money to fix their butts, but I can tell you right now, hospital helper sure is not keeping track of who's getting a new one.
Oh, so would you say that it's difficult and expensive to train an employee to use hospital helper without getting frustrated?
Well, Brittany's been here a few weeks. I'm kind of tired of her, and I think the software is too. We run through our people almost weekly with the amount of problems that occur with our software, though.
Now that Caitlin has uncovered the doctor's opinion on the issues with hospital helper software, she will continue on to her third set of questions, implication questions. Implication questions encourage the buyer to admit their dissatisfaction with their current equipment, which may have an adverse effect in the long run. Implication questions are critical in convincing the buyer that they genuinely need the product. Let's see if Caitlin can effectively convince Dr. ONeill into the final sale.
So, do you think hospital helper is contributing to office mishaps often?
Of course, we might have messed up once or maybe a few times on giving the wrong people some bigger boobs or whatnot, but hey, at least Brittany's got a nice rack now, but we're trying.
Good for Brittany. Do you feel hospital helper contributes to the inefficiency and chaos that's occurring in this office regularly?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've said before, I've had a hard time of understanding who I'm seeing on like a day-to-day basis, so it's hard to know who's getting what and what we need to help them with. So it's definitely been a problem there.
Well, does hospital helper complicate the intake and discharge process?
Definitely. Working with hospital helper is definitely a mess. A patient recently came in for a cheek implant and left with a little more butt than they bargained for.
By asking effective implication questions, Caitlin has moved Dr. ONeill into the final set of questions in the investigative stage necessary to make the sale. Need payoff recognition questions. These questions seek to correlate the buyer's newly discovered needs with the product the seller is selling. These questions also encourage the buyer to explore how the benefits of this product may outweigh existing costs, procedures, etc. Let's see if Caitlin can convince Dr. ONeill into a sale.
So, Dr. ONeill, would a more user-friendly system that decreases training costs and turnover rate be of interest to you?
Hell yeah, I can get rid of that trailer park trash Brittany and get a true babe with some brains.
Now that Caitlin has successfully completed the 4 sets of questions that form the investigative stage, she will now walk Dr. ONeill through Rackham's third stage of spin selling, demonstrating capability which reassures the buyer that the seller is both trustworthy and selling a valuable product. Caitlin has practically closed the sale already by utilizing her investigative stage questions to divulge the magnitude of the issues facing Dr. ONeill. Let's see if she can further qualify her product, Client Keeper, to Dr. ONeill and make the sale.
So, do you have a moment of your time I could show you my product, Client Keeper?
Of course, yeah, let's do it. Oh my gosh, this is so easy. This stuff is great. I've never even heard of this before, but this is going to be perfect.
So, am I obtaining a commitment from you? Do you think Brittany can handle it?
I think so. Let's do business.
Let's do it.
And that's how it's done.
Hey Brittany, how's that schedule looking for this week?
Good news, Doc. Bruce Jenner just scheduled his transformation surgery with you.
No way.
The positive word is out. You've made it.
Oh my gosh. Brittany, how's business doing?
Business is
booming.
Let's go!